Welcome to the Fuakata podcast, talking about life, art, and invulnerability, from comics to politics to philosophy. Just because a guy makes comics doesn't mean he can't kick some ass. Nothing is off limits. Here is your host, Juan Navarro.
You know, after 52 episodes with the, I want to say 43, 45 that was before that from the other season, and also years of just doing podcasts, I don't know what else to fucking say. There's time that I have like this just lightning moments where I have so much that I want to do and point at and say, and other times I'm just like, because I don't want to just complain. I don't want to just complain to you guys. What is that? The complaining podcast. Hey, everything sucks. Bad. Like, we know that. We all have, access to the internet. We all see the news. We all know. Why do we need somebody to come in and be like, hey, guys, I'm going to shock your brains right now and tell you how everything sucks that you already know sucks. It's like being on fire and just being like, hey, I think you have a little bit of fire. And like, you're just rolling around on the floor. What was the line? I'm drowning over here and you're describing the water. That kind of shit. But I will say that it's also because it's almost like it's too much. Like also if you want to like even get into negativity, it's like it's too much to point at. There's just so many things like, we have the first trillionaire. What the fuck is that, dude? That's a failure as a fucking species. Us as animals should have all gotten together and just fucking clubbed the shit out of this guy and just gotten rid of him. Because it's just ridiculous. It's just like, how do you have a trillionaire? That's a fucking crime versus nature versus a lot of things. The fact that Elon Musk is like a trillion, that's bad. That's a horrible thing. That's not an accomplishment in any way, shape, or form. That's like having a Holocaust or having a genocide like we're having right now in Palestine. It's like all those things. It's like, okay, this is fucking horrible. This is just bad. And any way and anybody that celebrates that or thinks that's cool, now you know where their mindset is at. Because I'm not even going to say, oh, it's stupid. No, it's a lot of times there's very intelligent people, but it's evil. And there's people that celebrate evil. It's a lot of times like when I like talk about spirituality and certain things and everything else, and the people that resist it so much is because being a piece of shit, being mean works for them. They understand that world. My mom used to have this saying as amores de burros, because jackasses, literally jackasses, donkeys, they love each other with kicks, and they just kick the shit out of each other, even though they're together. And it's just like that saying, like they just love each other and they just kick the shit out of each other. And it's just how people are. And there are people out there that celebrate and like this Gordon Gekko faggy bullshit greed thing, because the reality of it, the actual spirituality, the actual thinking, the actual development of oneself is so scary and almost insulting to their shitty black soul that it's an impossibility. It's like trying to teach a rock to fly. Like it's just not going to happen. It's just, and they don't have the capabilities of it. And when you talk to them about it, they look at you like you're fucking nuts. And so it's the same thing. Is like a lot of times if you can point at it, but no one sees the monster. No one confirms it. No one's like okay with it. No one is on it. And so it's really hard for me to come in and say, with all the noise that's happening, be another person and be like, this is fucking wrong for X amount of reasons, and that's bullshit. That's just, that's not going to work. No one's going to listen. No one's going to care because everybody else is doing it. But I will say this much. Take care of your soul. Take care of a lot of the things. It's funny how many times we kind of sneak around and we hide what we love, what we're vulnerable to, what we are. But if it's our vicious fucking hatred and our shittiness, we embrace it like a motherfucker. We want it and we enjoy it, and we're like nummy, because it's your feelings and they were good, yeah. But we never sit there and just say, what I hate, have I really thought about it? What I hate, do I know it? Do I understand why? And that's where I look at a lot of things. Because you can't go and just be like, capitalism's fucking bad. Because, capitalism does a lot of fucking good, bro. This is not about capitalism. It's not communism. It's not one thing or another. It's not left or right or any of those things. This is just corruption. This is just fucking corruption. This is all it comes down to. There's not this weird second sight, this weird other way of looking at it. No, there's no other fucking way of looking at it. This is just horrendous injustice. This is just thievery. This is just corruption. This is grift. This is garbage. And the more we kind of just say, oh, okay, well, this is how it is the more that we're going to go into the quicksand. The more we're sinking into it. And until, a lot of times people, like, I'm one of them. I love the political system. I think it's possible. People say, oh, it doesn't work. When you have a 30% voter turnout, yeah, it's not going to work. People aren't taking this as seriously as they should. And that's one of the reasons why we get into so much trouble. When people are like, well, I don't really do politics. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's not like... That's like, oh, I don't really enjoy air. I don't like oxygen that much. Like, you have to. It's part of it. It's going to enjoy you. And there's nothing else that you can do about it. You have to be involved in some way. And if not, to at least inform yourself a little bit. And then, like I tell people, like, go and fucking, if you can't go, if you're not going to go and hold a sign and protest, then give a check to the people that do it. Like, fucking send some money, PayPal, Zelle, to things that you give a fuck about, whatever they may be. And that's the problem. That a lot of people just don't. They don't fucking want to do it. I think it's one of the really bad, just sickeningly bad fucking situations that we find ourselves in. And we have to, I think we have to start dealing. Right? We have to, this is hard to say. This is like we have to come to terms with the possibility that we need to start doing some really crazy shit. I have a theory. Like, last week I was at a protest / city meeting for the data centers here in El Paso. And it was to cancel the Meta contract that the city had. And it didn't go through. They were on for 6-7 hours of people, coming up to talk and trying to chant, and that's what, giving 2 minutes a person. Like, it was insane. Like, I was there for 2-3 hours, and then we had to leave, my wife and I, and I think by the time we had to do some other stuff and we got home, it was like 6 or 7 o'clock, so we left like at 1 or 2, and then they were still going on, but it didn't pass. And what it does is that you have to now resort to something more. You have to resort to being a little harder. A little bit more than what you are. And I don't know what that needs to be. I have an idea, but I don't want to talk about it. It's just like a comedian I saw the other day. She was talking about how, like, tickets to the World Cup for the final are going as far as $1 million to $2 million. And that means, like, only the 1% can really afford that. And if they're all there, I'll leave you with that. We may have to prepare ourselves for a very, very different way of handling this. Because the system isn't working anymore. And, my one thing is I'm just not young anymore. So I always tell my wife the same thing. It's like, well, maybe for the revolution, at least we can make sandwiches, right? Like, we can help feed the kids while they fight. I don't know. It's just a fucking crazy time. And I don't know what's going to happen. I'm both scared and excited. And I don't know. but we need to do something and at least mentally prepare ourselves for it. And most of all, be good.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode and want more inspiration, insights, and updates, head over to fwacata.com. It's your one-stop hub for my art, comics, and everything creative. Let's keep building those big dreams, one small step at a time. You can also support the podcast on Patreon and/or Substack. See you there.